In the US, we have this tendency to be very optimistic. We are the land of opportunity. Everything is not always awesome. Sometimes life sucks.
You don't know who could have the virus.
My mother and my stepfather both tested positive.
This thing is moving at a rapid rate where it's killing people very quickly.
The novel coronavirus has made its way to the United States with a confirmed case.
There's currently no vaccine outbreak.
The world economy is in the wrong place.
Our lives is more important than money, right?
Wow, I can't believe I have it.
It's been a big impact on my family.
When it hit San Antonio, I was just really nervous.
My business has 100% been affected by this.
To be honest, it's a very stressful time for anyone. And I think when you work in the news, you're exposed to it on a level that I think most of the public isn't aware of. And that's just every day.
In that first 2 weeks of working from home, it was just workhorse, like just so many projects were just coming down the tube and I was getting so stressed out. My mental health was just like not all there. I was feeling anxious, I was feeling tired, fatigued, I was taking in a lot of coffee.
People allow themselves to feel anxious. It's not, we try to run away from it, and sometimes that's exactly what's making it worse. If we sit with it, people can build the endurance to get through it. If we're constantly running from it, we'll be running forever.
As a parent, I am grateful that the districts have taken the initiative to allow students to be left at home a little longer, to start a few students so that we can see clearly that it will work and slowly take our fears away.
The very first cases that I was exposed to, I remember, standing outside of the door of a potential COVID patient and thinking of my family, thinking of my kids, thinking of me. It was scary. I remember sweating, my heart was like racing, but once you're in the room, it's go. Do what you gotta do and get out. But like that fear, like the first time that I had to handle a COVID patient, it was a tremendous fear. And seeing them on the ventilator and seeing the nurses like afraid to go in the room too, asking, hey, can you move this, can you move that, while you're in there, it's scary. Getting out and thinking, did I breathe it? Did I not suit up right?
Every day I fear against the changes this pandemic has generated. The fear of not living a free and full life like we used to do before, it's in me every single day.
When you are having to ingest so much of this news and you don't get to take a break, it does have a very stressful effect on you. And just trying to eat, for me at least, it's all trying to maintain balance and maintain perspective.
I was staying at home 7 days a week as a precaution for myself and for others. It definitely did an impact on mental health. I think mental health is something that is not spoken of as it should be. And everyone needs to hear from you. Everyone cares about you. It's needed more now. The communication between you, your coworkers, your friends, your family, it's very important. It's very vital.
A lot of it has to do with the fact that they've been isolated at home, even if it's with their family. They've been forced to slow down and pause and really look at themselves. And even not just the self, but they're looking at their home, they're looking at their yard, and they're like, oh my gosh, I hate all of it. And so everyone was getting renovations and they're getting a pool. And so similarly, they've had to look inside too. And some of that has caused the spike in anxiety because people realize, oh, there's a lot about myself I don't like and I need to fix it. Or I hate my husband, or I hate my wife, I hate my partner, I hate my kids, all of that. So it's definitely caused a spike in anxiety and stress.
There are times where I just need to, take a vacation day or take a personal day and just remove myself as best as I can for a short amount of time just to have that balance or have that time with my family so I can regain perspective.
I think there's this notion at first that when we were forced to work from home, I heard a lot of people, I'm going to read 80 books, I'm going to lose 20 pounds, I'm going to do all of these things, unrealistic goals, as she was saying. And right now it's about really taking one day at a time and be able to survive each day as it comes.
I miss people so much, I'm almost gonna cry. Time is so fleeting. I need to, if someone invites me to their party, I gotta go. I gotta stop working and love the people who thought enough to invite me to a birthday party or say yes to that coffee tomorrow.
Right, look at the movie Castaway, when he had to create Mr. Wilson to talk to someone. We just need that kind of relationship. I know a lot of people that live by themselves used to go on walks or something just to see people, just to see them even from far away.
The most difficult situation I faced during the pandemic would definitely be being away from my family. Around March, when it was all new and we started getting some patients who were suspected of having the virus and things like that. I didn't want to bring it home to my kids. I was just terrified. So my kids stayed in Laredo with my mom for about little less than 2 months, to where I wasn't able to see them. When I would see them, I would visit them. I would see them, through the door, through the window, wearing masks. So that was hard. Yeah.
Well, I think the most difficult part was isolating myself from my family because I didn't want to bring illness to home. So I isolated myself. I took the spare bedroom and I couldn't hug my children for months. I told them that I wasn't going to get close to them. I isolated myself from my husband and I took the spare bedroom. So I will come home and just shower and go in my room in my confinement. So isolating from my family, and that was the most difficult thing.
Humans are meant to be in relationship of sorts. Even someone who likes to be alone for the most part will seek out some sort of human interaction, even if it's just one person. So that it's a very natural reaction.
And I remember talking to my mom and talking to my sister and saying, look guys, I'm really exposed to COVID patients. This is the plan. If I have to get admitted, if I have to get intubated, this is the course of treatment I want, real, conversations and real situations that you think are not possible, but they're absolutely possible, so the fear is always there.
The sooner we can accept that about life, I think the sooner stress will subside and anxiety will be a little bit easier to tolerate. So the quicker we're able to say, yeah, this sucks right now, and then not fall into the misery and the anxiety, the sooner I think we will kind of build our endurance to tolerate harder times.
I think what makes it so dangerous is that it's so new. I mean, there's no treatment, there's no anything to, a lot of information on it, and also just how it's so easily contractable and how easy it spreads.
Well, as we know, it's mostly respiratory. So by people not wearing masks and just having that respiratory closeness, that's the easiest way to get the virus.
We started purchasing, hand sanitizer. We switched from paper towel dispensers to air dryers. We bought these thermal imaging cameras to detect anybody that has a fever that comes in. We bought hundreds of thousands of masks, gloves, all kinds of disinfecting supplies. So we just started buying all kinds of things, decontamination trailers, portable generators, screening tents in case we do go into an emergency situation.
Things that we need to do is wash your hands. Don't touch your face, at least for 20 seconds with warm water, spray Lysol on your shoes, on the bottom of your shoes before you go in, Everybody has to wear a face mask now, and we keep it at a limited of 10 people in the shop, and then the other ones have to wait outside. And so, it changed this whole thing. This pandemic robbed us from a lot.
Constantly wash our hands, constantly carry hand sanitizer all the time after we touch anything.
My hands are paying for it.
It first started, everyone is like, you have to stay home, you have to stay home. The precautions that are in place of wearing a mask, having sanitation, being outdoors when possible, social distancing.
When this first started back in March, we weren't having to come in and wear face masks to work. And now anywhere you go, even if you go to the bathroom, you have to have this on. If you're away from your desk, you have to be wearing this in the building.
Don't forget to use your face masks to be protected.
For the return to school, we have taken the necessary measures to control the spread of the virus within our students and teachers. At my school, tissue paper and hand sanitizer stations have been placed in the hallways. There are signs to remind students be more than 6 feet apart from each other, as well as footprints marked on the floor to make it more visual. The drinking fountains will not be used. The bathrooms are marked like 1 yes, 1 no, and everything has a strict schedule for cleaning and disinfection. Also, the teachers were offered like face shields, masks, disinfectants to clean all the student work areas in the classroom. And the students' work table cannot have more than 2 students, and they need to sit one in each side of the table. So also in the morning, we're gonna take the temperature, and then we're gonna give them the hand sanitizer at the very entrance of the school.
A mask costs $5, right? So it's fairly simple to just put on, and versus paying for recovery for the virus, which is roughly $1.1 million. So would you rather pay $5 for a mask, or would you rather pay $1.1 million for recovery?
The best recommendation, don't go out if you really don't need to. I mean, unfortunately, this is our life now. We have to adapt to it, but I think we have to be smart about it.
Of course, I cannot enforce enough social distancing, wearing your masks and hand washing, and more than anything, stay away from crowds, especially if you're not going to wear a mask, because That's really what we were seeing, that every time that there was a big party or situation going on when there was no use of masks in big crowds, it led to a lot of clusters of COVID illness.
But it's a little bit frustrating whenever, you know, you see people out, you know, they're having a good time on the beach, and I'm over here at work. Like you said, you know, I'm at work. I go from work to my apartment to be alone because I don't want to expose my kids.
The message I want to send to the parents is to talk with their children and make them aware of the importance of these new rules in our daily lives. To speak of it, but not with fear, but with love. And they need to make their children understand this new way of life, understand that the responsibility and consciousness is in themselves to follow these rules always, at all times, and in any place.